We're ready now. Okay, good morning. This is the Monday Night Footballers podcast, and we've got with us today Harry, always know everything, Sypert. And they give him hell on the when we're talking because we've been talking for like 55 years. But he's always accurate with the facts, and people that are good with the facts have a special place in any group. And so say hello there, Harry, before we start talking about the facts.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. And, like you always wear that Raiders outfit. And, and I've been knowing you for almost 60 years now. And I always wonder, how in the world do you put on that Raiders cap? Or why do you put it on? Or why do you always have something on that symbolizes the races? Tell about that in just a second.
I was going to ask you the same thing. Why you wore that Mizzou stuff?
Well,
gear all the time.
Now,
I know you went to Mizzou.
Right.
Ike said you were one of the first few blacks that graduated from Mizzou, of the 5 blacks who had graduated in the 60s.
Oh, you make me laugh about that because it's so true. It's so true. I was fascinated by the 17,000 whites when I was there, and there was only maybe a handful, maybe 12 blacks on that whole campus. And most of them, they said, man, learn everybody's black's name because you might not be there very long. And I guess I outlasted them because I lived in the city of Columbia anyway, so I just walked to school basically. And the rest of them came from other places. And sure enough, they had almost a bus to line up every day to take black folks home because they couldn't stand the pressure. But anyway, you know all about that because you came from Oklahoma. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the bandwagon thing. Go ahead.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma. Came here in 1970 to Kansas City. Little country boys, people said when I came up here, so that's how I met Monday Night Footballers. They were all going to take care of me. They didn't want anything to happen to me, especially these wild women in Kansas City. They were saying they're going to really take advantage of you, little country boy. So that's how I met most of the guys who were in the Monday Night, all the guys who were in the Monday Night Football. They said they were going to take care of me.
Well, when I met you, I wondered about I was like ice. We're ready now. Okay, good morning. This is the Monday Night Footballers podcast, and we've got with us today Harry, always know everything, Sypert. And they give him hell on the when we're talking because we've been talking for like 55 years. But he's always accurate with the facts, and people that are good with the facts have a special place in any group. And so say hello there, Harry, before we start talking about the facts.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. And, like you always wear that Raiders outfit. And, and I've been knowing you for almost 60 years now. And I always wonder, how in the world do you put on that Raiders cap? Or why do you put it on? Or why do you always have something on that symbolizes the races? Tell about that in just a second.
I was going to ask you the same thing. Why you wore that Mizzou stuff?
Well,
gear all the time.
Now,
I know you went to Mizzou.
Right.
Ike said you were one of the first few blacks that graduated from Mizzou, of the 5 blacks who had graduated in the 60s.
Oh, you make me laugh about that because it's so true. It's so true. I was fascinated by the 17,000 whites when I was there, and there was only maybe a handful, maybe 12 blacks on that whole campus. And most of them, they said, man, learn everybody's black's name because you might not be there very long. And I guess I outlasted them because I lived in the city of Columbia anyway, so I just walked to school basically. And the rest of them came from other places. And sure enough, they had almost a bus to line up every day to take black folks home because they couldn't stand the pressure. But anyway, you know all about that because you came from Oklahoma. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the bandwagon thing. Go ahead.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma. Came here in 1970 to Kansas City. Little country boys, people said when I came up here, so that's how I met Monday Night Footballers. They were all going to take care of me. They didn't want anything to happen to me, especially these wild women in Kansas City. They were saying they're going to really take advantage of you, little country boy. So that's how I met most of the.
Because, like, I thought you was an immigrant. I thought you was an immigrant. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about. But you always said over the years that people got on the Chiefs bandwagon, and I never quite understood that. So explain to me, what do you mean when you say the Chiefs? People are on the bandwagon, are getting off the bandwagon, as you have often said when you predicted a loss for the Chiefs. Go ahead.
Well, I said most Kansas City fans, when I said I'll take like at least 70% of them are bandwagoners.
What the hell you mean? What the hell you mean bandwagon?
They're on that just because they're winning. Once the Chiefs lose a game, everybody jump off, talks about Andy. Patrick's doing this, Patrick's not doing that. They win, everybody's chest stuck out. This year, 6-11, people hit the gear.
So you mean it's a fad to be a Chiefs fan? Is that what you're telling me? Or was a Chiefs?
Like back when they was losing, you get people giving away tickets. After Patrick's, the second year when they started winning, they were winning with Smith, but they really took off when Patrick took over, and so the merchandise went up. Everybody started buying the 15 and the 87 jerseys and all that, and once this little losing streak this year, even in the other years, Chiefs lose a game. Next day on the talk radio, everybody's talking about Andy this, Andy that. When the trick plays work, it's good. When they fail, he shouldn't have done that. And then,
okay, so you just think it's a fad, basically.
It's a fad. Most of them, especially a lot. I don't say nothing about women. A lot of men too. They're just bandwagoners.
Well,
women are buying this gear up, and then like now they losing. People put the gear up,
So you're saying that
these guys used to wear the Chiefs gear every day. I question them about it. They want to get mad and all that. I said, man, where's your Chiefs gear? No game today. I said, well, no game. You was wearing it before,
And what do you mean by chefs?
See, when I came up here, I thought they were cooks. I didn't know, was the I in there? I didn't know the I was in there, Like the commercial with Andy said, did a good job, son, here on the field, but who are the chefs? That's who I thought they were, chefs.
Or, you're kind of dyslexic there yourself, huh? But anyway, we have with us Harry Sypert. And Harry, we call him that Harry Sypert. And the reason we call him that Harry Sypert is because that's the way people refer to you, that Harry Sypert, like pointing their finger. That Harry Sypert. It's in sort of disrepute, I guess I would say. How do you take all that bluster in, from the public, wearing that Raiders gear and stuff?
Well, if you know the history of football, you know why I wear it. Mr. Davis in 1963 said, American had a dream, young black man had a dream. I also have a dream that I'm going to build the finest professional football team in the world, the winningest professional football team in the world. And from 1963 to 1997, the Raiders won more games than any professional football team, plus had the highest winning percentage of any professional organization. Plus, the Raiders did a lot for diversity, hiring the first minority head coaches, black and Hispanic. And then they've hired numerous minorities in the front office. The president of the Raiders is a young black woman. So, and it began giving people second chances, believing in people, especially minorities, and the community work the Raiders do, especially in Vegas now. They did a lot in the Bay Area. A lot of people don't know about it.
So that's why you wear all that gear. The Raiders are coming, or whatever it is. Is that why
silver and black? It's
silver
pride,
and black.
poison, tradition.
A proud poison?
No, pride, like pride.
Oh, I thought you said poison.
I said pride, poise, and tradition.
I thought, yeah, that's
like black pride.
I know what you mean, but but it fits so well with you because there we are, 10 people sitting there talking about football for now with 55 years, and you still talking about the Raiders way back when. How you do
That's
that?
what I have to get on people back. You
get on
know
people's
history.
nerves,
People
not their
don't wanna
backs.
listen
You get
to
on their
history. They don't wanna-
nerves.
They talking about that's 50-something years ago. I said, read your history book. You open up the NFL history book, you see Al Davis with a big platinum ring there.
Well,
And they say, how could a guy come from a scout all the way to owning a professional team? Only in America. And he said he was going to do it.
well, you see, what did Warren Wells have to do with all this?
He's a wide receiver.
He was a wide receiver. Okay,
He
so
wore 81 before Tim Brown out of Notre Dame wore 81. He was the first really great wide receiver for the Raiders.
well, like you got a lot of facts in your mind. I'm not so sure how you manipulate them to meet your thwarted attitude toward the Chiefs.
I don't have an attitude towards the Chiefs.
You
It's
said
just
the Chiefs
fans.
are on the
It's fan.
band. Well, but
It's
you
the
said we
fans.
on the
Like,
bandwagon.
I was
That's
friend
what you
OT
always
and
say.
all those guys back in the day.
There's Trevor over there. He got a Chiefs thing on, and it makes you.
It doesn't make me, they want to spend their money on the gear and then not wear it and, get upset at Andy and Patrick. And once the trick plays work, they good. But then they don't work. They want to say, Andy shouldn't be doing all that. But all the trick plays, Andy, everybody else started running them,
I'm not sure plays either, but
But you are when they work. But they don't work. You talking about Andy shouldn't be doing this. Andy, it's all Andy. He's too old. What being fat had to do with it? They fired Mangino at Kansas because he was fat.
I remember that. That's crazy.
He was the best coach they ever had in football almost. They fired him because he was fat.
Well, see, you done got me off the task
But
here.
I was on Andy.
Now you done got to start talking about the Chiefs. That's where you're a little deceptive in there.
I'm not
But
deceptive.
but
I
anyway-
didn't say I didn't like the Chiefs.
but we talking about this bandwagon thing, and you've said that the Chiefs
said the
fans,
most of the fans are
getting on the
bandwagon.
bandwagon. So is the bandwagon over now that the Chiefs have been discovered, or at
No,
least
it turned
not
over. The wagon turned over. Everybody jumped off. This is a proven fact too.
We crashed.
Spousal abuse goes up after Chiefs lose a game.
And you must be talking about Rashid and
I'm not talking about the Rashid. Way before Rashid, Chiefs get beat. Abuse goes up on females. No, you check the emergency rooms and all that around town. It's a proven fact. I had a friend who was a nurse. She tell me we were so busy after the Chiefs lost that game.
You're hilarious.
The Chiefs fan get full of that beer and they want to take it out on their spouses, their girlfriends. That's a proven fact. Call the emergency rooms around town.
I can't be mad at you, and then I'm sitting here laughing. But anyway,
But they win, everybody's chest stuck out, they talking, they get beat. Go by some of the watering holes in town on Monday. No one's got the Chiefs gear on.
So what's
what's
happening to
going on.
Kelsey and Taylor Swift? Tell me what they're going to do.
I think they're going to
You think that's a bandwagon dude?
Oh, Taylor.
Yeah, well, Taylor or Kelsey.
She's
or
a
whatever.
billionaire. How could she be a bandwagoner?
Oh, so you for the money. That's what you are.
Yeah, this is about the Benjamins.
Well, I know, and you see, that's what makes. See, I believe somebody's paying you to wear them Raiders outfits.
These are collector items here. These collector's items.
I know,
They don't
and
even
you
make them
always wear
anymore.
that hat too, say the L.A. Raiders and
Says
whatever. And
Oakland Raiders.
I know, but they have moved around so much I can't keep up with them. They've been to L.A. twice, and then they've been
L.A.
to,
once.
Okay. But
They moved L.A. back to Oakland.
yeah, but
And
see,
then
one time they was in the ghetto down there in Oakland. In fact, it was
You
so
said
bad.
Alameda County out there in the hills of Alameda County. is a
I
ghetto.
know, but the black folks in the ghetto talked about them badly.
What do you mean
Talked about them
talked about
badly.
them?
There wasn't no bandwagon out there for the Raiders.
No, it's no bandwagon. When they moved to L.A., most of the Hispanic took up the movie
And
stars.
how
and
they
Hispanic.
went? They didn't even announce it to the paper. They didn't do like
Al
the Chiefs
told-
had
Al
thought
moved.
about it for about a year and a half or whatever. It kind of got the pros and cons. They just up and left.
Because Al knew what he was doing. He
Well, I
moved
know,
for-
but
it was
you-
a
I
money
think-
deal. They wouldn't build a new stadium in
I
Oakland.
think that what you like about it, Harry, is their ability to get in the newspaper because they sure ain't winning.
We're not talking about now. We're talking about the legendary organization. It's a legendary.
You know, you've been
You know what the word
you've been
legend- a legend?
radicalized, boy. You've been radicalized.
Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, everybody wanted to play for the Silver and Black because they knew the coach was going to take care of them, you know.
But I used to wonder what they meant by radicalized. You know, they just take people and they take off all their clothes like they do them ICE people. And they take off all their clothes, and then they ask, "Do you want to be an American?" And they've been saying no for a long time, and then they say yes if I can get my clothes back on, but they never get heard that part, and that's the way you are. I believe you've been radicalized by the Raiders. Is that true?
I guess these Chiefs fans are too. You know, most of them who jump off the bandwagon. You know.
There you go with that
The
bandwagon.
wagon tipped over.
It fell over. You know,
That
the
is
wagon fell over, and then the next week they win. The wagon's
We
back
crashed.
up. You know, they lose. They want to talk about Andy and Patrick and Kelsey. Leave that girl alone. I said, girl name is Taylor Swift. You know, and the girl. You know, they was on Kelsey because he had a girlfriend.
So now you saying they getting on the bandwagon, and we're getting on the Taylor Swift bandwagon now? Is that what you're saying?
You know, little girls and all that stuff. Taylor had a lot of fans, so a lot of people joined the Chiefs because of Taylor.
So they both want to go worldwide. Is that right?
Well, not exactly, you know, but I was talking about the people for the Chiefs because of Kelsey and Taylor Swift. A lot of people are Chiefs fans now because of, you know, the young girls wearing that little 87 jewelry now and fingernails 87 on them, you know, young girls.
Well, you must be an unhappy guy.
Why?
You must deal in unhappiness. 'Cause
I just deal in facts.
well, I know, I've watched you for now over 55 years, and I'm beginning to
People
look at
can't
you.
accept the facts, you know, when I bring up, they don't want to read, they won't listen. And, you know, this started back at the old stadium down there, you know.
They told me you've been put out of therapist's office. Is that true? Therapists don't even want to hear you.
Yeah, a lot of them did put me out because they didn't want to listen.
See,
to me.
I tell you, I knew you was
No,
a,
this was dealing with the
I
children
knew
at the
you
Niles
was a
home.
therapy
I was trying to
case.
tell them,
I knew it
you know,
from
but they
word.
wanted to dope them up with Thorazine and all that stuff. And I was telling the doctor, so the doctor decided to leave. Ritalin, they wanted to use. I said, "Dude." So a lot of therapists have asked me to leave their office
Yeah, I know, because
because I was getting those psychotropic drugs, you know, like Ritalin, Thorazine, you know, they didn't dope those kids up like that. They didn't want to deal with them, so they zonk them out, you know.
Man, you a handful. You a handful. You a fistful. You a whole basketful. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the Rashid and Patrick and Kelsey. Tell me what you want to talk about those three, and then we'll end this part of it. Are we about 30 minutes yet, Wes?
Big controversy not going about wide receiver number 4, Rashid Rice. Allegedly, you know, his ex-girlfriend is saying he's abused her. He, you know, things like that. He's sold the house, put her out, has a new girlfriend now. He has 2 children by this young lady, and allegedly the NFL is investigating it now. So if it's true, if they can prove anything about it, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Another suspension. It won't be 6 games. It'll be a whole year, or he'll be, you know, if they can prove anything.
Okay.
And he's allegedly abused his ex-girlfriend. They broke up. She's saying he sold the house, put her out the house, not supporting the kids and all that. Now he's got this rapper he's allegedly going with, not allegedly, it's Valentine's came out, they were together and all that. So NFL's investigated. He's already on probation for the racing down in Big D and all that. So he could be in a lot of trouble again. So the Chiefs are in a predicament now about the wide receiver, about whether Kelsey's going to come back. Are they going to let Hollywood Brown go? You know, what veterans they going to cut?
So you're saying that we're moving off the field now. This year, 2025 is over. That season's over. And now we're moving into what's going to happen in 2026.
Right. The combines are coming up, free agency, and the draft. So it's very important for the Chiefs now. In their present team, what are they going to do at running back? They're saying they need a running back, but they're not going to pay any money for a running back. Running back's not making that much money. When I say that much money, $40, $50 million, they're not making that now. So plus they want another receiver.
Can you catch the ball? Can you catch the ball? Can you get down the field fast and catch the ball? Is that right?
They need somebody to stretch the field, like Rashid could, but they want somebody fast that can get down the field.
So who's going to be the top receiver
Depends
in
on
2026?
what's going to happen to Rashid.
Well, I know,
His hands
but
got
what do
bad
you
all
think?
of a
You
sudden.
know
I
everything. You
Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah.
All
right.
He
Now, Trevor said-
wants money. He's going to be a free agent. And he's saying he wants to go into free agency now. That's what he's saying.
Thornton?
Yeah. And so he's not, when I say not making any money, I don't think he's making $1 million. That's not, it's money to us, but these guys, $1 million is nothing in professional sports,
Yeah, that's starting change.
Yeah, $800,000, $750,000. Even I just can't figure
It'll get you out of the
Rasheed
ghetto,
Rice,
but it won't put you in the.
He's not
in
making
the,
over $5 million a year, so I can't understand how he's doing all this and not making any money. His year's coming up to make money.
So before we start talking about Patrick, let's talk a moment here about Kelsey. Do you think Kelsey love what's her name?
What's her name? Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
She's Swift, all right. They're going to change all the laws to how many football players you can marry at one time, or at least be engaged to. I mean, you know what? It's kind of funny, Boulder, but, Patrick stopped finding Kelsey when he started dating Taylor. Taylor used to always be free. I mean, Kelsey used to always be free and open.
If he's open, he's not open now. They
See, you were
changed their offense.
defensive
They
about that.
changed
You're
their
defensive
they
about
changed-
that. I let you have your way, and then you got to let me have
It
my
has
way.
nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
See, you want to argue. See, that's what that Monday Night Football say about you. It said that Harry is all right.
Since Travis got with Taylor Swift, he's not catching any balls now.
Well, I know.
But that all started after, he was getting.
I know, but he be waving his hand. Hey, Patrick, I'm over here. And Patrick said, no, I'm going over here. That's where it seemed to be. So are you telling me that there was
the coverage has changed now. When we had the speech of when Tyree was here, even they won after Tyree left, but Kelsey
You
was
done
still
go back
open.
to
but-
Tyree. You ain't.
but
Your
you gotta
memory's
stretch the
messed up,
field.
boy.
When Rashid came, he was opening it up. They opened it up. Now, who wants to catch the ball? So they land waiting on Kelsey to come across the middle.
Well, they better do this podcast in a 2-part series because, this first part ain't going very well.
Kelsey, it has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. And that's what most of these people are saying, that she just messed his head up and all that,
But your head's messed up. You done been put out of all the therapist's office, and you got nerve to talk about that. You've been talking about getting on the bandwagon and stuff. So you're saying the new bandwagon ain't Taylor Swift? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm talking about the fans. When you win, everybody's on the bandwagon.
But
You lose a game, or they criticize Andy, Patrick, making too many commercials. He did those commercials in the summertime, So they're talking about Patrick making commercials. What's that got to do with playing football,
well,
He's throwing the ball underhand. He shouldn't be doing that. When it works, it's all right. Fails, throw the ball right. What's throwing the ball right?
Well, you see, that's why I'm sitting down with you, because these people down here at the call paper, they said, bring that Harry. You can come, but bring that Harry. And I now see why. Because you messed up, boy.
Controversial.
You messed up. You need some help. In fact, yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I
do.
read. I know what's going on and all that.
And that's
people
even more
look-
dangerous. Well, anyway, are we about to the end here? All right, we're about here to the end. Let's wrap this thing up. What are the Chiefs going to do in 2026? I know they're going to get Rashid straightened out, and
They are.
hopefully Kelsey. Yeah, well, hopefully they get Kelsey.
You think
Stay
he may
on
play
them.
another year?
May
come
play
back,
another
'cause
year, but
EB's back. I think that may have something to
But
do with it.
Taylor Swift said she was going to write a song about Kelsey. You came at the right time, and you're going to leave at the right time.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the Monday Night Footballers podcast. We talk about the Chiefs, and we've been talking with that Harry Sypert. That
Well, I
Harry
say
Sypert.
Kansas City's a bandwagon town.
Yeah, and he's been talking about the bandwagon and Taylor Swift and Rashid and anything else. And, he's
Chiefs,
kind of.
Royals,
Yeah, and we ain't
Kansas City Current, they
Next
jumped
time-
off that bandwagon. They got beat.
Next time we do this recording, we're going to talk about the Chiefs moving to Kansas City, Kansas. And most people think that's a move a long way. It's just right up the freeway. Right. I mean, it ain't nowhere. It's kind of like the Dallas when they said they was going to move. They moved to Arlington. And they like it. It ain't nowhere. It's down the street. And when you talk about moving, you ain't just because the state lines are in there. It don't matter commercially or whatever. Fans still got a way. We'll still be going over there to Kansas City, Kansas Legends area. Every Sunday. The Chiefs will not affect it, and we get all kind of contracts. We get the facilities all redone up and nice and whatever. And then when they bring players in, they say, "Look at what you got here," because there's one thing about being up there at Missouri Western. The college, they kind of got a college atmosphere. Things are all right, but they ain't really all right, especially for the money that these people play. So now they got the taxpayers to pay all this money to go to Kansas, and it's right up the street. And they making this seem like a move is really, that's awful. That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like you do when you talk about the bandwagon.
A lot of NFL teams really don't play in their cities like when Super Bowl was played in California. There, that's 50 miles south of the Bay Area, south of Frisco, down to Santa Clara. So it's about here to Kansas. To Lawrence,
So
their
you're-
stadium. So the Bears are thinking about building a stadium in Indiana. So
I'm afraid of myself because you are really, really convincing me of what I've already been convinced of is that the Chiefs, just moving down the street and acting like they're moving somewhere. They ain't going nowhere because right over there, they've gone right over there to Johnson County. They done moved from 27 in Brooklyn in the ghetto to Johnson County. That's what it comes down to be. And that's where the money is. That's where the fans are. They said they tired of driving. They tired of giving money to the central city, and they going to give it to the people who got the money in the first place. And
the stadium's in the dot, though.
Well, I know, but that's what's one more move. But the practice facility
In Olathe.
is in Olathe. That's right. And then all the fans are in Johnson County, which means that they didn't get them back in Johnson County, but they got them out of Kansas City, Missouri, where the ghetto is, where they got a black mayor and stuff. Now, let's look at it. I'm sounding like you are, ain't I? Oh, my God. We'll be back here next week, and we'll do it all over again where we keep talking with that Harry Sypert. Take care. Bye-bye.